here. Okay, hi. Hello, handsome. You gonna help me? Yeah, you're so good. Okay, so I didn't wash my hair today. Actually, my wash days just did not line up this week. Hello. Surprise! Hello. Wait. Surprise! Oh, it's his favorite game. He's like a 2-year-old. Okay. So my wash days really did not line up this week, but that's okay. What I did was I washed my hair 2 days ago, and he's a paid actor. And I just re-wet my hair. I didn't end up styling my hair on my wash day. I just put it up in a ponytail. I did put a little bit of leave-in conditioner on my hair on my wash day just to make it a little bit easier to detangle. And that's about it. Kept it pretty simple other than that. And today I am going to focus on volume on my wash day, or at least I'm going to try to. I feel like having some really big hair, but I do want it to last because I am job shadowing tomorrow in a salon. So I want my hair to look good. Look how long my hair is getting. Oh my God, it's so unhealthy though. It's so unhealthy. You can't hear me. Wait. Yeah, that makes sense. Hi, can you hear me now? Hi. Can you hear me now, TikTok? Hi. Hi. Can you hear me now, TikTok? Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Yay! Okay. Sorry. What was I saying so far in that intro? Not very much. Yeah, YouTube can hear me because you guys aren't mic'd up. My mic can only connect to one of my devices. Okay, so basically what I was saying is I didn't do my wash day today. My wash day was 2 days ago. All I did on my wash day, and that's just because my wash day just didn't sync up. You know, it happens. I don't wash my hair once a week, but I go live every single Tuesday. Hillary, did you just join my live and send me balloons? Thanks, girl. For anybody who doesn't know Hillary, Hillary's another content creator. She does beauty, fashion, positive. She does some like sound bites that you can recreate, and I'm just an awesome content creator. Beware, you will fall in love with her if you follow her. Good friend of mine. Yeah, so anyways, definitely she's in the comment chat on TikTok. You should definitely go check her out. And on YouTube, if you want to go check her out, her TikTok is Subversive Socialite. Anyways, what was I saying? So yeah, so I wash my hair about 1.5 times per week, and I go live every Tuesday. So often what that means is my wash day isn't Tuesday morning, even though I do my full styling day every Tuesday. So in this case, I washed my hair 2 days ago, but I didn't style my hair 2 days ago. I've just been wearing my hair up in a bun, unstyled. I actually kind of love that because it's kind of nice to have your hair unstyled every once in a while. Like, I don't know, it's just nice. It's light. It's lightweight. Wash my hair. It's a nice like break, a little vacation every once in a while. Although, you know what it did really point out to me? Brushing through my hair unstyled made it very, very obvious how dead my ends are. In reality, when I get my hair cut, I'm probably gonna have to take off like that much. When I was brushing my hair out, I could see like it's really, really healthy and thick, but when I was brushing it through, I could see that it gets really wispy from like here downwards, and I was like, I'm gonna have to cut all of that probably. So to make it look healthy again. So yes, my hair is very long right now, but in reality, I'm probably gonna end up having to cut it like here to get it healthy again. And that's just because I haven't had my hair cut in a really, really long time. Okay, so my hair detangled beautifully there. Which is probably because I dry brushed my hair last night. So it just wasn't all that tangled. Okay, so what are we gonna do? The only reason I'm brushing my hair upside down is just so that I don't end up with like wet headlights on my white shirt here. So let's move this to be like this. Okay. Hello, hi, I'm Rennie. How you doing? So we're gonna be using some different products today. I've been using a lot of Les Brands products, as you guys know. That's pretty much my favorite curly hair brand, wavy hair brand, whatever. And hi YouTube. Let's get my angles. I just want to use some different products. I don't know, I've been doing a lot of Les Brands wash days lately, and I just want to mix it up a little bit. So we're going to be using some Curl Keeper today. We're going to be using some by Mondo, X-Mondo. How do you say the name of that company? I don't know if they actually ship to Canada, but they sent me some of their products, and I know I have a lot of US and UK based audience. I don't know, does Mondo go to UK? Maybe not. So that's what we're going to do today. I think I'm going to start with a little bit of Curl Keeper. Since I'm not really super familiar with all of these products, the order of the products, I'm going to be kind of winging it. So like, bear with me. How cute is he? He always sits there in my lives. Okay, YouTube can't really see, but he just hid. But my Mastiff, his name's Sterling. He always like sits right there and then like ducks down like behind the couch. Little cutie pie. Let me just get a clip to start applying product to my hair. So when I am applying product to my hair, typically I will do it in sections. If you find that somebody was actually just DMing me, so this is a good example of they're actually doing a great job with their hair so far. The results are starting to be just chef's kiss, beautiful. In fact, the results are already beautiful. However, one of the things they're struggling with is like some areas are looking a little bit heavier, a little bit greasier. Like it's not a big thing, but just like a little bit more noticeably, like there's a sheen to it. And then some of the areas are still looking a little fluffier, and a little bit frizzy really isn't the word. Less defined is the word I would describe. So it's like, what's happening that some areas are like that and less defined and some areas are still more heavy? My best guess of what's happening would be that it's uneven distribution of product. It could be something else, but that's my best guess. So if you think that might be the case, one of the things that I would recommend is making sure that you're applying your products in sections. And even if you are applying your product in sections, it's one of the things like that can be kind of helpful, but like film routine is sometimes when you film your routine, you realize, oh my God, I never apply product to like the back of my head, or I never apply product to like one area of my head. But even if you don't film your routine, you're going to learn this because you're going to see the results that you get. So taking a handheld mirror, looking at the back of your head, like getting that 360-degree view is going to be super, super helpful. But definitely applying your products to absolutely saturated, very wet hair. By the way, that is just water that I'm applying because, again, this wasn't my wash day, so it's hard to get my hair totally, totally saturated. But you do want to be applying your products to very, very wet hair. I was spending quite a bit of time, sorry, I keep hitting my... The really interesting things I saw a stylist do last week was when she was working with very low porosity hair. By the way, one of the things I have often called my hair low porosity, and I wanted to address that. The more time I've spent in salon. Internet today, YouTube. I'm so sorry. YouTube, does it keep disconnecting for you? I don't know. It's telling me that YouTube keeps disconnecting. We just got new internet today. It shouldn't be doing that. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to put in a little bit of the original Liquid Style by Curl Keeper. I'm pretty sure it's linked to my bio, so you can go check that out. It is a really interesting product because it's not really a moisturizing product, and my hair has kind of been on the verge of moisture overload for a little while right now. So that's one of the reasons I've decided to reach for it today. It is great for fine hair. So if you are a fine-haired girly, it is not going to weigh your hair down. It is very like almost watery in its consistency. Don't be shy. I think the biggest mistake people make with Curl Keeper when they first start using it is that they try like a gel and they just use like a dime size amount and they're like, that didn't do anything. Use it. You can use a lot of this product. It's just not going to weigh your hair down. Use more than you think you need the first time. And if you don't think it did anything, use more the next time until you're like, okay, that was maybe too much. And then you can start reining it back. You really can use a lot of this product. And it's going to give you the definition that a gel will give you, but with a lot less hold. and almost none of the weight. So it's really good for fine hair. Again, I do not have fine hair, but I've spoken to the founder quite a bit, and he has educated me a lot on this product. My hair does grow fast, Melissa, but I was talking at the beginning of the live about how I just brushed it out when it was dry, and I could see it's pretty much like wispy and dead from like here down, so I'm gonna have to get quite a bit of length taken off next time I go in. Okay, so I'm applying it in sections, that original liquid styler from Curl Keeper. And again, I'm going for like really voluminous hair, or at least that's my goal today. I really want like big hair. And so that's why I'm starting with the Curl Keeper as kind of like my base, because it's going to help me get that definition, but it's not going to weigh my hair down. It is truly like a very weightless product. Okay, so yeah, big is definitely back. So YouTube, how are we doing? Do you guys keep disconnecting? I feel like I keep getting errors on YouTube, which is so sad. Okay, so I'm going through section by section to apply my products. This is gonna take a little bit longer than if you apply it all at once. If you have less hair than me, then you might be able to just apply it all at once. It also depends on the product. Some products do apply very evenly, so it's less of an issue. But again, if you're getting that problem where some sections are looking greasy and some sections are still looking like fluffy and undefined, applying it in sections is really going to help with that. Also, making sure your hair is fully saturated, very, very wet, is really going to help with that. This is also the Curl Keeper H2O bottle. This is not a sponsored live, by the way. It just happens to be that I'm using a couple of Curl Keeper products. Am I feeding my spray bottle with my water bottle? Yes. Okay. Been trying to figure out the best way to section. Should your hair be soaking wet when you are applying product? Yes. So everybody's hair is different, to be fair. There's some people out there who get better results when they like plop, for example, before they apply their gel. Everybody's hair is different. However, as a rule, a good place to start is applying your product to soaking wet hair, because a lot of us get best results when we do that. So I would always recommend start there. Start with soaking wet, like fresh out of the shower application of your products. And then you can experiment from there. Now, I get people who DM me on Instagram all of the time asking questions, and I'm happy to answer those questions. But one of the things I do like to remind people is you're gonna get to a certain point, especially when you're getting really close to that like end results of what you love about you're getting so close to your dream hair. You're where everybody else thinks your hair looks great, but you're just kind of like fine tuning, where I can try and help you, but some of it is just gonna come down to trial and error, because like I said, everybody's hair is so different that when you're in that landing zone, so to speak, it's gonna come down to seeing what your hair wants and what works best for you. So I'm happy to answer your questions and to try and point you in the right direction, but a lot of this is just enjoying the process, enjoying the fact that we're not gonna know all the answers, and there isn't gonna necessarily be a right answer. Part of the fun is just experimenting. Been trying to figure out the best way to section. Should my hair be soaking wet when you apply product? Yes, your hair should be soaking wet when you apply product. So my hair just isn't soaking wet because I'm not fresh out of the shower, but it's better if you're straight out of the shower when you're applying product. So I've just stuck my head under the sink, so it didn't get quite as wet as would have been nice. So that's why I'm using a spray bottle to resaturate as I go. But it'd be even better if your hair was just already saturated, so you didn't need to use the spray bottle, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, I'm going for that really big wavy hair, very defined, but big, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna go for perfect ringlets today that are absolutely frizz-free. I'm gonna allow a little bit of frizz today. One of the things that I have really realized over the last 3 years is that this like constant obsession that we often have, especially at the beginning of learning to take care of our wavy hair, with eliminating all frizz, it's something you're likely going to get over. It's not everybody. Some people will always be obsessed with eliminating all frizz, but I invite you to just start your journey, start taking care of your hair, especially people with like even more curly, like tighter curl patterns. Frizz is a reality of having non-straight hair. And yes, learning to control your frizz is helpful because it just gives you more control in the final outcome. But trying to constantly eliminate all frizz is just like, it's exhausting. First of all, hair that is non-straight has frizz, and also it's not necessary. Like, I often leave the house with frizz and still get so many compliments on my hair. So you don't have to have perfectly frizz-free hair in order to have great hair. So that's something that I do want to emphasize. You finally gotten to the point where you don't mind about a frizz. I love that. The more you style your hair, the more you're going to change your internalized beauty standards. Somebody just said something. It takes forever to dry your hair when it's real wet. So we're going to go through a couple of techniques today that are going to help with that, including micro plopping. You can also do things like actual plopping. But also some of it's going to come down to the products that you choose. Now, products that are heavier are going to result in your hair taking longer to dry. And gels are going to take longer to dry than mousses, but gels are also going to give you a different result. So if you really want the fastest dry time possible, well, using a really light leave-in conditioner and a mousse is going to dry a lot faster than like a curl cream and a gel. But it's also going to give you a slightly different result, so that's also something to keep in mind. But the more important thing would be understanding that you can use a microfiber towel to gently squeeze out some of that water, and then I would diffuse. Your hair is always more wavy underneath and no curl overall. And curly overall. How should I cut it since my layers look weird? So I'm not a hairstylist yet. I'm becoming a hairstylist eventually. Eventually. But so I would definitely say consult a hairstylist to get like advice on that. The best advice I have is to go to somebody who knows what they're talking about, who's going to cut your hair, keeping in mind your curl pattern. You know, who's not going to straighten your hair before you leave the salon. If my hair is more wavy underneath and curly overall, how should I cut it? Yeah, because my hair is more curly underneath and much straighter on top. But I mean, no matter what your curl pattern is, if you go to a curly hair specialist or someone who generally is quite familiar with how to take care of wavy or curly hair, they're going to give you a cut that takes into consideration all that. As long as you put in leave-in conditioner when my hair is wet, the frizz isn't too bad. That's great. Your internet gave out. The hair on top loses wave while the under is wavy curly. Yeah, so that's really describes my hair. The top layer of my hair really, really struggles to hold its curl pattern. I'm sure you guys, if you've been here for a while, you've seen me talk about that. The top layer of my hair is very, very loose waves, like S waves. I've gotten quite good at manipulating it to hide that. One of the things I do is I get like kind of a rounded layers look. So the top layers of my hair are shorter, and that allows them to not be quite so weighed down. I also usually brush style, like I brush curl the top layer of my hair. And that turns those S waves into, you know, more of a rounded ringlet shape. And then I diffuse my hair typically upside down, and I do gravity fed curls, which is going to focus on creating that first bend at the root and give me more volume so I'm not flat on top. I have tutorials for all of these techniques. So it's not really just like one solution. It's more about like compounding one technique on top of another that's over time going to really, really help with your finished results. Okay, so now we've got a nice base all over of the original liquid styler. I really, really like that for, like I said, giving that definition that's super lightweight. It's not going to weigh down my hair. That took a long time. Just so you know, if I'm not live, that took me 20 minutes. That would have taken me 5 minutes. I don't know why it takes me so much longer to apply product when I'm on lives. It really does, though. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Wave Tech foam. So the reason I'm going to be doing this I think it's also linked in my bio, is I'm going to, I find it's really good for helping my hair to clump, and that's something that I've been struggling with lately. This chair is already getting wet. So again, I like to keep my hair really saturated, really wet, because that's also going to help your hair to clump a little bit better. Again, better if your hair is like wet straight out of the shower. But I showered 2 days ago. So, well, no, I've showered since then, but I shampooed 2 days ago. Okay, so just water in this spray bottle as a reminder. And we are going to apply the foam in 2 sections. Front section first and then back section. So again, the Wave Tech foam is different than a mousse. It's not going to be adding any definition so much. It's a really unique product. I know it's on the more expensive side, but I do really love this product. It's going to help my hair to clump really beautifully. I love this product during refreshes, when I'm refreshing my hair, if my hair is really looking kind of like knotty and dull and like stringy during my refresh. Then I add a little bit of water and a little bit of the Wave Tech foam. I talked about this in one of my refresh YouTube videos. I add a little bit. So do you see how it immediately like makes it all clump together like that? So that just makes it so that my hair gets very, very clumpy. Okay, so the thing with this foam though is because it so attracts water and it makes the hair clump so much, my hair takes forever to dry when I use this Wave Tech foam. Full warning. Okay, so, but if you want to get those really juicy clumps with your hair and for your hair to look very soft and have lots of volume, just love the Wave Tech foam. So I haven't used it a lot, but that's why I wanted to use it today. Okay, so I've used it in the top layer here. Now let's clip that and I'm gonna apply it to the back layer. So you can see, this is what I meant by like some products you can apply in larger sections and some products are better to apply in smaller sections. And this is just kind of a trial and error thing that I find. In my experience, the curl keeper is harder to apply evenly and the foam is easier to apply evenly. So I didn't need to do as small sections. Sorry, it's the Brad Mondo Wave Tech foam. I don't know if it's available in Canada. You'll have to check out their website, but it's definitely available in the States. What curl pattern do you say you have? I describe my hair as wavy, but I know that's heavily up for debate. I always cut my hair, so a refresh is just when it's not a wash day. Typically, I describe a refresh as not fully saturating your hair and restyling again from the ground up. Although some people would just call that a wet refresh where you fully saturate your hair. But yeah, a refresh is basically touching up your waves or your curls or your kinks or your coils without fully washing your hair again and having a full wash day. And that's a really key part to embracing your hair, because if you have to fully wash and style your hair every single day, you're gonna get really frustrated because it's time consuming, right? Or it can be time consuming for some people. And most of us don't have that kind of time, right? So just so you know, I don't really subscribe to the alpha numeric model, like 2A, 3B, whatever, 2C. If you look at some of my older videos from like a year and a half or 2 years ago, I do sometimes talk about that stuff. I don't anymore. First of all, I don't think it's helpful. Second of all, it's highly, highly subjective. And I think it's just an outdated model that was invented by a man who was just trying to use it to sell his products. Yeah. Now I just use the terms wavy, curly, kinky, coily, which technically I think kinky and coily are 2 different terms as well, but I'm not very well educated in that space, which is something I'm hoping to change. Okay, so we now have applied foam all over The last thing that I am going to apply is a little bit of gel, but we're going to do it in a little bit. So far, refresh, could I lightly mix it, fixed some of the curls and diffuse? Lightly mist it, I think is what you mean. Fix some of the curls and diffuse? Yes, totally. If you have questions about refreshing, I just posted a 5-minute YouTube video, so it's not like a super lengthy YouTube video. And I just posted it about just how to fix the problem that you're having in the morning. So you don't have to fully saturate your hair. You can just fix the issue you're having, whether it's stringy curls or greasy looking curls or a few frizzy curls or spirals or waves, whatever it is that you have. So I have just posted a video about that. So if you go to my YouTube channel and look under like the video section and not the YouTube shorts section, it's there. Okay. So again, I do like to add lots of water now to make sure my hair is nice and soaking wet, because I do find the foam leaves my hair a little bit grittier. And you want to have a nice slip when you're going through and brush styling. So at this point, if I wanted to, because the foam leaves my hair so beautifully clumped, like I can't even tell you how like look at that. There's no frizz. It's like you could literally just scrunch and diffuse at this point. My hair is super curly, but the top isn't because my curls weigh down my hair. Any tips? So if you want to keep your length, you can get a haircut that is more like rounded layers. So you can keep your length, but you can get some of the weight taken out of the top so that the top isn't weighed down and shows that curl pattern a little bit better. You're gonna have to talk to a hairstylist about that. That would be the best thing that you can do that's really gonna make the biggest, most instantaneous difference. This is the water bottle by, it's a nice big water bottle, Curl Keeper H2O, and it's just an infinity mister. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I would air dry. My hair, one of the typical symptoms of wavy hair is that the water tends to leave your hair weighed down. Also, it tends to leave my hair looking a little bit like greasy with all the product when I air dry my hair. So I just get much better results when I diffuse my hair. Okay, but yeah, like if I was to just scrunch from here, just to give you an idea of what we're working with, I could just take a towel, microplop to remove all the excess moisture from there and diffuse, and I would probably get very voluminous, great results from here. I would probably add a little bit of gel before I did that, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, so stop trying to talk me into it. I have to be in a salon tomorrow, so I really want to have very predictable results, okay? And so this is where we go from like the fast routines to the longer routines. The biggest difference is how predictable your results are going to be. Yes, I can absolutely diffuse from here, and the chances are I'm going to get great results, but the results are going to be slightly less predictable because I really haven't done anything to go in and make my curl pattern, to control my curl pattern at all. Does that make sense? So hopefully my chair is a little bit drier than it was earlier. Okay, so now what am I gonna do in order to make that curl pattern a little bit more predictable? I'm so glad you asked. Is there whiskey in my cup? Nobody knows. Okay. Diamond brush. You don't need a diamond brush for this. I'm using products and applied to wet hair, but my curls have stopped forming. Chances are that is a result of something to do with the balance of your hair. So protein balance or moisture balance. Guys, I have a guide about protein overload and moisture overload. It's linked in my bio if you scroll to the bottom. Under free resources, there is a protein moisture balance guide. So you can definitely check that out. And if you haven't hit that follow button already, I do go live every Tuesday doing my hair just like this so that we can hang out and so you can fill in all of the gaps between all of the TikTok tips that you see or the YouTube short tips that you see. Like literally nothing replaces just sitting down and us doing our hair together, am I right? Because it's all the things in between that gets edited out of everybody's videos, right? Anyways, I just needed somebody to sit down and do their hair with me. I feel like that's what's missing. So that's what I do every Tuesday. So we are going to now go through and I'm going to show you how I make those results a little bit more predictable. So somebody was just saying why I think you said you lost your curl pattern. Your curls have stopped forming. So if your curls have suddenly stopped forming, I'm just gonna go through the rundown of what that can be. First of all, it can be something a little bit more permanent, like you're on new medication, you have major hormonal changes. Those things can actually cause your curl pattern to change. Chemo, things like that. What else? New growth. So if you recently had postpartum hair loss and you have, or COVID hair loss, and you have new growth of hair, it could be growing back with a new hair pattern. That could be possible. Now, if none of that happened and you're having a change in your hair pattern, it could be from a change in whether or not your hair needs protein. So your hair having too much protein in it or your hair needing protein can affect your curl pattern. Your hair having too much moisture in it or needing moisture can affect your curl pattern. So it's really, really crucial once you get to a certain point in understanding your hair to start doing research on those things. Now, I do on TikTok have a playlist that you can go check out about protein and moisture. I know it can feel like overwhelming topics. On YouTube, I actually have a YouTube video where you can go get all of the info in one video. I think it's called it has kind of like a weird title, but it's under my Wavy Hair University playlist. So if you go there and start scrolling through the videos, there's not a ton of videos there. Hey Muggins, my mom just joined the live. Hey mama. So that's like a great place to start. I know it's an overwhelming topic, but I have tons of content that really breaks it down. And once you start to see the changes in your own hair, you're gonna start remembering, oh yeah, these are the signs of when my hair has too much protein. This is the signs of when my hair has too much moisture, etc. But yeah, those are the main causes of your hair starting to change. The other thing would be buildup on your hair, which just means you need to clarify. Regardless of what the cause is, a good first step is to go get a clarifying shampoo and clarify your hair. Literally, whatever is causing your hair to be less curly, that is a good first step. How long would you say it takes to come back from heat damage? Unless you're using really great bond treatments, you might just need to let it grow out. That's not what people want to hear, but that was my experience. How do you, what your curl pattern is if you're at the beginning of your journey? I don't think it's super important what your curl pattern is, guys. Like, yes, it's helpful to know whether you're wavy, curly, kinky, coily, but like you can start by looking up curly hair routines. If your hair does not look like the people that you're seeing in the results, then either start looking up wavy hair routines or start looking up coily hair routines. You know, I think that's a good place to start. I think we can get too hung up on whether our hair is wavy or curly or kinky or coily, especially at the beginning. I call my hair wavy. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I think if you're not sure if your hair is wavy or curly, then according to my definition, chances are your hair is wavy because I have a pretty generous definition of wavy hair. So, and I also find that wavy hair techniques, like if you look up the general wavy hair techniques, they are very broad and tend to also be very effective for people with loose curl patterns. So I hope that's helpful. Absolutely, wave is a curl pattern. But I think what that person was talking about was the different curl types within the curl pattern chart. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to make your curl pattern more predictable. So we talked about how I was already getting some good results just with the products I put in my hair. Any advice for day 2 waves? They look wonky and I get straight pieces in the morning. Oh, that's just a loaded question. Definitely watch my YouTube video about refreshing. That's going to answer all of your questions about that. How do you find products for wavy hair? Lightweight products. Lightweight products that give you strong hold. Typically, that's going to be not curl creams. Typically, it's going to be light leave-in conditioners, curl activators, and gels. Maybe mousses, and sometimes sea salt sprays. Okay, so in order to get more predictable results, what we want to add definition and help the curls to clump, okay? In some of my also all of my favorite products are linked in my bio, so go check those out. I want to add definition, get rid of wet frizz, and in some areas where my hair is really struggling to hold curl, I'm actually going to shape the curl with brush curls. So we'll get to that in a little bit. To start, I am going to go through and just brush through. This is the curliest section of my head underneath here where I naturally get these really nice spirals. So I'm just going to brush through to get rid of any wet frizz. Oh my God, I can already feel I've been talking too much and my hair is not as wet as it was. So I like to keep my hair nice and wet while I'm doing this. It makes it much, much easier to work with, and it's going to help the hair to clump. Again, ideally I wouldn't be talking so much and I would have already finished all of the brush styling, but I've been really chatty this morning. You guys have been asking great questions. Okay. So I am gonna add some gel in a little bit to my hair, but I'm gonna add it right at the end, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add it at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and start brushing through just to add that definition and give me those more predictable results. This is the Denman D4, but you can use, for this technique, you can use like a paddle brush. Okay, and so do you see how that kind of gave me those little ribbons? Oh, Kiana, I'm glad you liked the commercial. I hope you guys don't get annoyed, but I actually really like, I think I'm gonna do that every time I go live because I just think it's a good way to drive people to do this, but I hope people don't get annoyed if I do like something similar every time I go live. Okay, so again, this is the most curly section of my head, so I'm just gonna brush through. I'm really not doing anything to shape the curl. I'm just getting rid of wet frizz, and I'm helping the curls to clump, okay? So I'm helping the curls to not be stringy, and this is going to give the appearance that they are less frizzy. So did you see? I just raked through after brushing through with a brush. Now for this technique, you absolutely do not need a Denman brush. The Denman brush is nice for it because it has really good grip, but it's not necessary. If all you have is a paddle brush, you can use a paddle brush. Okay, so I'm brushing through to get rid of that wet frizz, and I'm just raking through with my fingers. And see, my hair is nice and wet, and that foam is also really helping the hair to clump. Yeah, Selena, that's a really good point. So the techniques that I'm doing with a brush today, you'll see, don't work for everybody. And I think that's something we don't talk about enough online because brush styling is so popular on TikTok, and it works really well for my hair, to be clear. It's not for everybody, especially people with fine hair. Brush styling is not meant to be a silver bullet that works for all hair types. There's no such thing as silver bullets with wavy, curly, kinky, coily hair. Like there's just no such thing. You're supposed to try these techniques, and if they do not work for you, you should throw them out with the bathwater. And then you should keep trying new techniques. I know a lot of people hate on the bowl method, but the reality is the bowl method works really well for some people with very loose waves or very fine waves that get weighed down by techniques like brush styling. I really like the Bounce Curl Gentle Clarifying Shampoo. You got a Kiss brand Denman brush for less than $20. You know, I bought a no-name Denman brush and I was really unhappy with it. The brush is a Denman brush. It's linked in my bio. So yeah, I'll be honest, I've never worked with Denman. I've heard that they're not very good to work with, to be honest. So I would prefer not to advocate for them, but maybe they're better now, I don't know. But they do make a damn good brush. One of the hairstylists I'm shadowing with has had her Denman brush for like 25 years. If your waves are always frizzy, I have a video that I just reposted. It's an old post called oh, that was too much. Don't put that much tension on your hair, by the way. My hair is very strong, but that's not good for your hair. Strong and healthy is what I mean. So I just posted a video called the Anti-Frizz Masterclass, because frizz can be caused by a lot of different things in your hair routine. So it's a difficult question for me to answer. One of the things you want to be doing is using products that are going to give you definition, but also doing things like what I'm doing here to smooth that wet frizz. and then good diffusing technique are two other really key tips that are going to help you control frizz. So again, I'm just brushing through with any sort of brush to smooth that wet frizz, and then I'm going through to separate it into smaller curl clumps, because whatever size the curl clumps are when your hair dries, that's going to be the size the clumps are all the time, and they're going to keep reforming into those clumps. I love shadowing stylists. I've been really, really enjoying it. I am eventually going to become a hairstylist. Down the line. Okay. Okay, so we are just brushing through again to clump that hair into these beautiful sections. And keeping the hair very saturated. The products that I have in my hair so far are, because I wanted to go for big hair today, the original liquid styler, which is just adding definition, leaving your hair frizz free, really good for fine hair, although my hair is not fine. And it's not gonna weigh your hair down. And then I also went in with this foam. I do find that sometimes this can leave my hair a little bit stringy. You have to be generous with this product, and you want your hair to be saturated, like soaking wet when you apply it. Then I went in with the X Mondo Wave Tech Foam. All of these products are linked in my bio, so you can go check them out. And this one really helps your hair to clump and is good for volume. Okay, so that, like I said, that is by far the most spirally section of my head. So I really don't do much because it's naturally going to form these like corkscrew ringlets. How did my FYP know it was wash day? The algorithm knows. The algorithm knows before we know. It's so funny. So this one little piece here, I am gonna over direct it, and I am gonna give us one little brush curl right here just because it's a little bit more visible. You want to be careful with brush curls. Make sure you watch a couple of tutorials to get your technique down if this is something you want to experiment with, because you can end up getting the brush caught in your hair. A lot of people have done it. There's techniques to get it out again, but you want to be careful. But see, it'll just kind of over direct and like really shape to make a very perfect curl pattern. Brush curls don't work for everybody, but if they do, they can be nice to do a couple around your face. No, you didn't miss the shampooing bit. I don't give that show away for free. I do that. I actually washed my hair 2 days ago, so I just re-wet it for today. Yeah, I shampoo off camera. I only wash my hair. I wash my hair twice a week, but I only do this once a week, so often my wash day doesn't actually line up, and I just wet my hair on Tuesdays. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another section at the back of my head. So let's talk about sectioning here. Just so you know, this is always the first section I work with, is the very bottom layer, which is the most spirally section of my head, and I just go through and just brush through to get rid of any wet frizz and make sure it's in these nice clumps, okay? Then I take the next section right here, right at the back of my head, because I've got a lot of hair there. And again, I'm going to do the same technique because it ends up not being that visible. So even though it's a lot less curly, less spirally here, I'm still not going to waste my time doing like any fancy, you know, brush curls or anything, because it's just not going to be that visible. So you can see what my next section looks like. For me, I find I typically don't have to like clip it or anything. I don't have too hard a time keeping track of my sections, but you could have like an alligator clip as you're working through, because in this section here, I'm now going to work through in vertical sections. Okay, so I don't do this whole thing at one time. So I'm just gonna, because my hair's long enough, I'm just gonna flip it like that, but you could use an alligator clip to pull that to the side. So now I'm going to, if you needed to really detangle this as you went, I would actually use a detangling brush, because you shouldn't be using a Denman brush to detangle. They have no flex to them, and they have a lot of grip, so they're really not meant to be a detangling brush. If you find this valuable, guys, please hit that follow button. I want you to be part of this community. We're just trying to have great hair here. And I go live every single Tuesday doing my hair. So if that's something that you think would be valuable to help you in learning to take care of your wavy or curly hair, absolutely hit that follow button. Okay, so I'm brushing through to get rid of that wet frizz, and then I'm pulling through, and then you can give it a little shake. You can do whatever you want. Just pulling through. That seemed to like actually make it worse there, but whatever. Again, like I said, this is not that visible a section at the back of my head, so I really don't get too precious about it. And I also mentioned earlier, I'm going for big hair today. Oh, thank you so much. That's such a nice thing to say. Oh, you guys are so sweet. The spray is just water. It's such a clutch tool to have. Just a little bit of water on hand to keep your hair fully saturated while you're working through the sections, because your hair is so much easier to work with when it comes to like keeping it clumped and frizz free if it's still nice and wet, especially while you're getting used to these techniques where it might take you a little bit longer than it will later on. Thank you so much, Mac. I think the reason it looks so good is because they're staying very clumped, and that is because of the foam, which I don't know. Can somebody tell me if it's available in Canada? It's the Brad Mondo foam. Okay. I've been watching for months. To be honest, you learn something new every time. Selena, you're so sweet. Okay, so yeah, I've been working through this back section in these vertical sections. And I'm working with a Denman D4, but for this technique, really any paddle brush is going to be fine. I'm gonna scrunch right at the very end, and I'm keeping my hair saturated, so you really don't have to scrunch as you go, but everybody's a little bit different, so if you want to scrunch the sections as you go, you can. It might create a little bit less frizz if you just brush to smooth the frizz for now and only scrunch at the end, but for other people, you might find that if you don't scrunch as you go, you end up with less spirally, less tight curls at the end. So it's up to you. You're gonna have to experiment to see what works best for you. So again, I'm kind of trying to work through until I just have this like top section of my head, and then we're gonna treat it a little bit differently. I think it's everything above the occipital bone, I think is what it's called. Let's see. Here, we'll do this section here. I'm overthinking it. And so far in my hair, I have the Curl Keeper Original. The Curl Keeper Original in my hair, which is a really cool product that just adds definition. It's kind of leaves results that look like a gel, but it doesn't weigh down your hair at all. And it doesn't really have hold. It just gives you definition. So great for pretty much every hair type. It looks like this. It's linked in my bio. Really good beginner-friendly product, very lightweight. It's hard to overdo it. You have to use a lot of the product though. So like, don't be shy. I use a lot of it, add it to soaking wet hair. And then I went in with some of the Brad Mondo Wave Tech foam. Now, to be fair, I've never used these products together before, so I guess we're gonna see how this turns out. Yeah, I pretty much always use a Denman brush. Although if you go scroll back to like the first year of me doing my hair, I didn't own a Denman brush and I still was getting great results. I was just using a paddle brush. So you really don't need to have a Denman brush. So now, like I said, I section and then I work through in vertical sections. Okay. And I want volume, so I kind of brush through to get rid of that wet frizz, and then I'm just letting it drop. I'm not gonna do brush curls yet, because brush curls are gonna kill my volume a little bit. Whoops. I think I broke my Brad Mondo bottle. Thank you, darling. Okay. So to get lots of volume now, one of the techniques that I'm going to start introducing is gravity-fed curls. So this is a really big section, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I don't personally use Shea Moisture products. So I'm going to focus on really creating that first bend at the root here. For people who have hair that is flat on top, gravity-fed curl technique, which is a technique that I learned from Jonathan Torch, who is a very famous curly hair stylist in Toronto, Canada. See how it really focuses on getting that first bend right at the root? It really helps your hair to not be so flat. Now, you can even and then I just shake it down there to activate the rest of the curl pattern. You can even pin it as you go. Now I'm not gonna do that because I'm too lazy, but I am, as I get kind of to the occipital bone here and like to the top section of my hair, I am gonna focus on encouraging that curl that's right at the root, that first spiral near the root, because I really struggle with flat sections at the top of my head. And the reason for that is the hair at the top of my head is very flat, not very spirally at all. It's very naturally like an S wave. I've just gotten really good at encouraging that curl pattern and at artificially like enhancing it. So one of the things I like to be honest, because I see the number of people in this live has gone up quite a bit, is in a lot of my videos, you will see me with some pin curls in my hair. You will see me having done brush curls in my hair. You are seeing my best case scenario hair. So what you're doing when you come to this page is you are off. A lot of the techniques that I'm teaching you is if you want to learn how to maximize the curl pattern with minimal damage to your hair, that's often what I'm teaching on this page. So I never want anyone to think that I'm coming on here and telling you that this is how the hair grows out of my head naturally. It's absolutely not. I'm enhancing my curl pattern, and I'm teaching people how to do that if that's something that you want to do. You absolutely don't have to enhance your natural curl pattern. There is nothing wrong with wearing your hair in beautiful S waves, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I wear my hair in looser S waves sometimes too. But it's something, manipulating my hair and playing with it is something I have loved to do since I used to straighten my hair. Hi, Joy. So if you are someone who struggles with some straight sections of your hair and some really curly sections of your hair, and you're thinking, how can I make those straight sections be a little curlier or do what I want them to do, then you've probably found the right page here, because that's a lot of what I talk about. Because it's just something that really frustrated me, and I, at the time, couldn't find the information I was looking for online. Of course, now there's a lot more people talking about it online. But I always like when I have like a lot of people on here, I like to talk about that because I'm definitely, my hair, a lot of the time you see my hair on here and you're like, oh my God, your hair is so curly. But in reality, you're seeing my hair look a lot curlier than it is in real life. Do you use the phone as a mirror? Do you have one behind the phone? No, I use my phone as a mirror. For those of us who just joined, what products do I have in right now? So I have in my hair, what did I put in? The Curl Keeper Original, which is a really great product for controlling frizz. And then I also have the Brad Mondo Wave Tech foam in my hair, and my hair started to get dry. Yeah, I love the light in my house at this time of day. It's nice. Oh, Vicky, I have lots of videos of what I use in my hair. That's what this whole channel's about. In fact, I just posted a video with my 2023 wavy hair routine. So if that's what you want, if that's what you're looking for, you can definitely check that out. It's one of my most recent videos. Here we go. Okay, so again, as we get to this top section of my hair, I am just doing what I call gravity-fed curls or gravity-fed technique. And the idea here is to really focus on getting that first bend near the root, and that is gonna help so much with that root volume. I put product pretty much all over my hair, because if I don't put product all the way up from my scalp down, I end up with frizzy roots. But some people, I also don't have oily hair, and I get that some people do. So some people would maybe need to avoid their roots a little bit more than I would. You bought the Lust kit from my live the other day. It's out for delivery now. Stephanie, that's so exciting. If you have any questions when it comes in, send me an Instagram DM. I'm always happy to help people once they're actually starting to apply it. I also, usually about once a month, end up doing a full live just using Lust products because I absolutely love Lust, and it's my primary product line. So that's a great time that you can come. Usually I'll advertise it when I'm going to be doing a live like that. So that's a great time that you can come and ask questions that you have and kind of see how I like to use those products. Okay. Hillary, you're still here. How's it going, sweetie? Okay, so we're going through and we're doing, because this is the flattest section of my head right at the back here. So I'm trying to take, one sec. I'm gonna take a smaller section here because it was like weird. And I'm gonna do more of these like gravity fed technique where again, I focus on getting that first bend right at the root. And then the rest of it, I just focus on being like a nice clump. I'm not really focusing on the rest of it because once I micro plot my hair, I'm gonna scrunch all the rest of it. So that's a good question. Why my hair looks curly? Why do I consider it wavy? So the idea of wavy versus curly is like such a heated debate. Like depends who you ask what the definition is of wavy versus curly. There's a million definitions of wavy versus curly out there. I am absolutely not an authority on this topic. One of the definitions for wavy hair that circulates out in the internet is that wavy hair is S-waves or spirals that do not start at the root and where the hair has a tendency for the curl pattern to loosen. So you have a tendency to need to use lighter products and stronghold products, and you're always trying to a lot of those people are trying to enhance their curl pattern. So I always found that to be a really, really helpful definition for wavy hair. It's kind of grouping together a whole group of people who are all trying to use stronger hold products or trying to enhance their curl pattern or struggling with curl pattern that keeps loosening. Their hair is always getting weighed down. It just seemed to be a group of people who had a lot in common with their hair and that I really related to. The other thing that I would say is remember to type your hair when it's fully unstyled. You guys are often seeing my hair heavily manipulated. Okay, even now, this is heavily manipulated with a lot of product in my hair, and it's not dry yet. But if you go back and see kind of my commercial for this live, you'll see my hair kind of brushed out, and it looks very, very different, right? So that's a good thing to keep in mind. But even with all that said, I know some people would still consider my hair curly. Some people would consider my hair wavy. It's just a highly debated topic. I have just settled that wavy is the most helpful term for me. So that's the term that I use. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Selena. Yeah, I hope that's a helpful definition. Okay, so the products that we have so far are the Curl Keeper and Brad Mondo Wave Tech, which are both linked in my bio if they're products that you're interested in learning more about. And now I'm going through, we're trying to get big hair today. That's what we're going for. Your ends are so much straighter than your roots. How do you fix it, please? Okay, if that's the case, my first question is it possible you've got damage? That used to be the case for me. Wait. I'm gonna show you guys a picture. I was doing a sponsored live last week, so I had to print out a bunch of pictures. Look at this. Wait, I have two pictures here. Do you see here? Do you see how much straighter my ends were? First of all, do you see how my hair used to look? It's so different now. But do you see how straight my ends were? I had really bad heat damage. So if you have damage on your ends, chances are that's something that's contributing to your ends being way straighter than the rest of your hair. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. One of the things you can do is a bond treatment like Olaplex, K18, stuff like that. However, I ended up just getting a good trim and eventually letting it grow out, and that's what I did. I didn't know anything about bond treatments at the time, so yeah. Your hair is always so frizzy and you're a low maintenance girl. You just wash and brush your hair. So what I would recommend is that you just only brush your hair when it's soaking wet, and that you just try to begin with while your hair is soaking wet, just maybe putting in a little bit of leave-in conditioner and gel, and then brush it when it's soaking wet and just let it air dry. And that is a great place to start. That's not a ton more work than what you're doing now if you're looking to change your routine. Okay, so again, the technique that I'm doing right now is all about getting more volume for those folks who really struggle with flat hair on top or just like not enough volume. The top layer of my hair really struggles with volume. So I'm just going to focus on getting that first bend at the root. Okay, right away, do you see how stringy it's getting? Do you see how it's like not going into nice clumps? That's not what I want. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit more water, make sure that it's absolutely saturated. The second thing I'm gonna do is, because this is a really big section, I think that's part of my issue, I'm gonna break this into a smaller section. Okay, and then I'm just brushing it up. You don't need to use a demi brush for this. You can use any sort of brush. Okay, and so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, you see now I'm a little bit happier with how that's staying in kind of nicer clumps. Just a little bit nicer clumps for me. Okay, and I'm just really letting it do whatever it wants, but this is gonna help me so much to get a little bit more root volume. So it takes me a lot longer to do my hair when I'm on these lives. When I'm not on lives, I can like fully prep my full head of hair in about 25 minutes, and then I diffuse my hair, which takes usually about 40 minutes to diffuse my hair. So it's like about an hour to an hour and a half to fully style my hair on wash day, and then my hair lasts about 4 to 5 days, if that makes sense. I've gotten really good at getting my hair to last. So you see I broke that into sections, and see how beautifully this section is staying clumped now. So it's going to be a lot less frizzy now. It's going to look a lot more defined. So I'm really focusing on that gravity fed curl technique on giving me that root volume. Okay. Yeah, definitely not a daily thing. So the products that I use today are called Curl Keeper, the original product, which is a super lightweight frizz control product. And then I also used the Brad Mondo foam, what's it called? Foam, Wave Tech foam, which is great for helping the waves to like clump. And it also gives like a little bit of volume. And I think they're both linked in my bio if you want to learn more about either of those products. And then I'm also going to glaze in a little bit of gel later on just to help give more longevity out of the style. So on the whole bottom layer of my head, like those two products alone, I could have just scrunched my hair and diffused because it just gave me such great clumps using those products together. But obviously I do the most. So I'm going through and I'm brushing in sections to really try and encourage this like root volume on top. But I mean, if you're a girly who just isn't trying to do the most, you could have just scrunched from there and diffused. I wish that I had two heads and I could have just like side by side compared the two and seen which one actually gave me more volume, because I wonder if the other one would have actually given me more volume. How do I make my hair last so long? Well, first of all, I have a YouTube video you can go check out about how to refresh your hair without fully saturating your hair, which is a game changer. Second of all, I sleep with my hair on silk every single night if it's styled. So I sleep with my hair either in a sleep cap or a bonnet, something like that, which is an amazing technique that we've learned from the black and brown hair communities in order to prevent moisture loss, prevent frizz overnight, and overall protect your style. So that's and also keep your hair products off of your skin, which is clutch. So that is a really key part to maintaining your style. Okay, so you see we're just going through and doing that gravity fed curl technique to focus on getting that first bend near the root. And hopefully that is going to really, really help with volume as we go through. Your hair on top is just straight, but bottom layer is curly or wavy. What can I do? So that is exactly, yeah, we are going to diffuse on live. That is exactly what we're doing right here, is gravity fed curl technique for those who struggle with volume or curl pattern on top. We are focusing on getting that first bend right at the root. So I do want to mention, you guys are seeing me do a really elaborate hair routine here. You absolutely do not need to do a routine that is this elaborate. If you're watching this and be like, oh, there's no point in even starting to take care of my hair because I'm never going to do all this. You absolutely don't have to. I have a great video pinned to my TikTok called Intro to Wavy Hair that is a much simpler hair routine, which can get you amazing results. There absolutely does not need to be an hour and a half routine in order to have great hair. It is a hobby and a career for me. So there are plenty of other ways to get great results. What you will find over time is adding a few little things to your routine might help you get longer lasting results. So it might be worth it to spend a little bit more time so that you get 3, 4, 5 days out of your hair routine. But especially at the beginning, if you're finding you need to style your hair every single day, it makes sense to have a nice, quick routine. Okay. So you see, I'm really focusing on getting that first bend right at the root, which is going to help me so much with my volume. I do want to break this into more than one curl, more than one spiral. But you can see right on the top here, my hair is not very spirally. That's just naturally my hair pattern on the top layer of my head. So the first product that I used today, it was Curl Keeper, the original styler, which is linked in my bio. You can go check it out if you want to learn more about the product. It is great just for controlling frizz. They do have a gel, but this product is very lightweight, will not weigh down your hair. You can use a lot of it, even on very fine hair, and it is just going to control your frizz. You can use it on its own as a styler. It's a very great, like, beginner-friendly product. Or you can pair it with other products. So today I paired it with the Brad Mondo Wave Tech Foam to really help my hair to clump very nicely, which is why my hair is clumping so nicely today, on saturated, very wet hair. And now I'm just going through with a Denman brush, and I'm doing some kind of like freestyle Denman brush techniques in order to hopefully add lots of root volume. We're gonna see if we get the results we're hoping for, but basically I've been going through and focusing on getting these first bends near the root, which in the past has really helped me to get more root volume. Now I'm not focusing so much on the end of the spirals, even though I do need to scrunch because, again, like I said, my hair's not curly on this top layer. It's very like a loose S-wave naturally on this top layer. So if I don't scrunch, I'm gonna have like a very, very loose S-wave on the top layer, and I want to make it have the appearance that it spirals on the top layer. So I am gonna do some scrunching to enhance that. Sorry, I'm missing some questions. But I'm gonna do that in a little bit. I'm going to scrunch all at the end. And after I do a couple of the gravity fed curls where I really focus on getting that first bend, you can even do a little finger curl to really like, or once you get to these face framing sections, to really like make sure the whole spiral is going in the direction that you want it to. I am so thirsty. Oh my gosh. Guys, I live in Ontario. You would not believe the snow that we have this year. I just posted to my stories on Instagram, and the trees on my property are literally bent over sideways, like fully sideways. They're still alive, and if you knock the snow off of them over 24 hours, they'll go back up like upright, but I've never seen that before. The snow is so heavy. It's really beautiful. I don't know if I can show you, but anyways, you can see on my Instagram. Okay, so I do go live every single Tuesday, so if you're finding this helpful, definitely come back next week. I just find it's so hard to like learn how to style your hair in just like 15-second sound bites on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, right? So I try to do this every Tuesday so that you can kind of see everything that's happening in between on people's hair routines. And yes, I am gonna fully diffuse my hair on here today too. So we're just kind of at the front part here, and I'm going through and really focusing on getting that first bend at the root. And what that does is it really helps if you're somebody who struggles with volume. So normally I have like a nice fresh haircut, which is really going to help me get that volume on top of my head. But in reality, I haven't had my haircut in freaking ages, like 9 months. So I'm really struggling with root volume right now. So if that sounds relatable, then you're like me and you're going to want to use this technique, which is called gravity fed curls, where you focus on getting that first bend at the root. If you're somebody who has a very flat top section of your head, My hair is naturally not very curly here. So like some people are just naturally gonna have a lot of volume on top of their head. I'm not one of those people, okay? So by really encouraging this first bend, it's going to help so much. Now I like to brush curl these two sections so that they are both a little bit more controlled, over directed, and going away from my face. So these are both going to be very manipulated. Does anybody else here, can you relate to that? Who struggles with volume on top of their head? Okay, so when I'm doing these brush curls, I like my hair to be very wet, otherwise it won't hold. You can see how straight these front sections are. My bangs are by far the least spirally section of my head. Also, if you're like, why does this girl say the wrong word a lot? I have a brain injury, okay? Like genuinely. Okay, zero volume. Yeah, I totally get it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you exactly how I do a Denman brush curl. So I take the Denman brush, I put it on a downward angle like this. I put it through the bristles and kind of like start to pull it through. And now I rotate it around the handle like that, okay? Don't rotate it around the bristles. And because this is a really short section, I can kind of just like go all the way through like that. It never gets all that tight. And it'll just come all the way through. And that's just gonna over direct a very loose curl section. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna catch a couple of you guys up. So what have we done so far? So I added Curl Keeper Original Styler. So that is a product that is great just for controlling frizz. It's not really a moisturizing product, really. It's very lightweight. It's kind of like water hopped up. It is great, even if you have fine hair. It's a really good beginner-friendly product. Anyways, if you want to learn more, it's linked to my bio, so you can read more about it there. But I added that in sections to very wet hair, and then I went in with the Brad Mondo Wave Tech Foam. It's a little bit of a more expensive product, but it is a really handy product to have in your arsenal. I really like it, using it for refreshing your hair too. I just posted a YouTube video about some tips for refreshing your hair if that's something you're struggling with. When I say refreshing, I mean like not wash day, the other days when you're trying to fix your hair. And it's great for helping your hair to clump and just for getting that overall volume. And then what I did is I went through and brushed everywhere to smooth that wet frizz. And then here I brushed kind of like up and then lowered the hair to focus on getting that first bend at the root, which helps you to get more volume. Now here at the bangs, I'm really just giving these specific curls. So I'm really manipulating the curl right here to enhance the curl pattern in my bangs, because my bangs, I probably heat style my bangs more than I heat style the rest of my hair for obvious reasons. I mean, like sometimes they're just not behaving, and I end up maybe using a curling iron on them or pin curling them or diffusing them in refreshes more often, things like that. Let's see. Why are we talking about Michaela? What did I miss? So how long does this take when I'm by myself? I would say about an hour to an hour and a half, and it'll last for like 4 to 5 days. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like I've got a good amount of volume through here. Now what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna use the Curlsmith Defining Souffle. Why not? I haven't used it in a really long time. And then I'm going to squeeze out any excess water with a microfiber cloth. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. The spray that I'm using is just water, guys. It's the Curl Keeper H2O spray. So when it comes to glazing my hair with a little bit of gel, I wanna make sure my hair is still fully saturated. By the way, if you just joined and you wish that you had caught the beginning of this, I will repost this to YouTube so you can go back and see the first part of this, okay? So I'm just gonna fully mist my hair with water because obviously we've been doing this for a little while right now. And if I'm gonna go in and glaze gel over this, I wanna make sure I'm glazing the gel over wet hair. But if I had been doing this and I wasn't like talking on a live, I probably would have gone through and done that fast enough that I might not have needed to glaze it with water again. So the gel that I'm using is a gel that I don't use that often. It's Curl Defining Styling Souffle. Styling gel for curly or wavy hair. It is the level 8 out of 10 hold. And they say use a dime size amount with praying hands method. It's Curlsmith. I do really like Curlsmith. I really like their Shine fragrance-free line shampoo and conditioner. This gel, I really like it. I find you need to pair it. It leaves a very strong cast. You need to pair it with other products. Like you can't really use it on its own. So that's why I thought it would go well with the foam. That might be too much. Because the foam is so like, leaves my hair really, like very wet, and it takes a long time to dry. And I find this gel needs to go over like a moisturizing product. So I think it'll go well over that foam. So I'm gonna just glaze it over that. That gel is your BF, is it? Okay, that's good to know. I've really only used this gel a few times. But I've liked it when I've used it, but I just find it does matter what product you mix it with. Okay. Okay. Oh, it smells good. It smells kind of like baby powdery. Okay, I kind of want to move YouTube because I feel like I'm backlit for you guys. Is that a little bit better? Is that worse? Oh, I'm sorry. What are we going to do with you? Okay. And then don't forget the back of your head. People always forget to apply product on the top because you always apply product upside down. But you need to apply product right here too. Okay. And the tips of your hair, especially if you have split ends. Okay. Now we are going to use a microfiber towel, and we are going to scrunch, and then we're going to diffuse. And I'm going to show you diffusing technique because a lot of people think you can just diffuse your hair. I hate to break it to you. Diffusing technique is incredibly important, and a lot can go wrong during the diffusing process. You can ruin all of your hard work so easily. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to hit that follow button. I go live every Tuesday doing my hair so that we can fill in all of the gaps between the like 15-second time like sound bites of how to take care of your hair that you're seeing on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, because it's not enough info, is it? Okay, so I'm just switching YouTube and TikTok here because you guys were getting seriously backlit there. And I think my iPhone 14 can handle it better than my iPhone 11. There we go. There's no person in the back window, is there? No, it's just my home. Just my home. Okay. I do not have fine hair. Okay, so wait. I swear I had a microfiber towel. Here it is. So just to see, for everyone who just joined, if you want to see where I came from. So this was my hair when I first started taking care of it. It was extremely heat damaged. I was actually so proud of this wash day. So proud of this wash day. And you can see how it was starting to come in curlier here. So it was pretty curly there, but through here, it was like not, and it was pretty straight all through here. Very heat damaged. For 10 years straight, I constantly was straightening my hair. And then now when it's wet, it's that curly. Anyways, so we've come a long way in the last 2.5, 3 years. Now we're gonna take a microfiber towel. So all of the products that we added to our hair are, before we go in and start diffusing, the Curl Keeper Original Styler, the Brad Mondo foam, okay? And then after we brush styled my hair, we did the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle. I have never done this product combination before. This is a new one for me, so I'm kind of curious to see. I think all of those products are linked in my bio. The Curlsmith might not be, but like the link to their website is. So just because the Curlsmith might not be, that's the Curlsmith product that it was. The Curl Defining Styling Souffle. It's a level 8 hold. All of the products are available in Canada except the Brad Mondo. Can someone look up whether or not that one's available in Canada or not? I'm not sure. Okay, so this is just a microfiber towel. This is really my first time scrunching, okay? I haven't really scrunched. I like to hold off on scrunching until the end and just do it once all over. So now at this point, I'm squeezing out all the excess water. Yes, it's gonna remove some of the product from my hair, but I just don't worry about it too much. I've never had a problem with it. Okay. Is it bugging you guys that I'm backlit here by the window? Is that annoying? Okay. It lasts about 4 to 5 days when I style my hair like this. And it takes, if I'm not on live, it takes between an hour and an hour and a half, okay? So just to give you an idea of what we're working with here, that's what it's starting to look like. So already squeezing out that water is, I can feel us making a huge difference, and this is gonna cut down on my drying time so much. Now, if you are somebody who likes to plop, like do a t-shirt plop, this is when I would recommend doing that. The lighting looks fine to you. Okay, that's what I want to hear. Perfect. Okay, so if you want to plop your hair, I would do it now. I don't like to plop my hair. It leaves my hair really frizzy when I do that. So we are not going to plop my hair today. But some people really, really like the results that they get from plopping their hair. So it's completely up to you if you want to do that. So now we are going to start diffusing. So when it comes to diffusing your hair, this is one of those things that is going to make a massive difference in your final results. Do you have to diffuse your wavy or curly hair? No, of course you don't. It's not realistic for everybody. Some people can't for a myriad of reasons. However, air drying your hair has some pitfalls. For one, for some people it takes 8 hours or more. So that's an obvious risk. It's not good for your scalp to be wet that long. That can cause scalp issues. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're currently air drying your hair and it's leaving your hair super frizzy, it could be because you're air drying your hair. I'll talk about plopping in just a sec. Sorry about that. Our hair is most prone to becoming frizzy when it's still wet. So if your hair is going to be wet for a really, really long time, that's a really long time that it could potentially get frizzy. So when it's wet, every time it gets touched, like by the back of your sweater, the back of your car seat, the wind, that's all slowly creating and contributing to frizz. So if you're air drying and it's wet for 5 hours, chances are it's going to get frizzy during that time. If you can shorten that time that it's wet to an hour or half an hour because you're diffusing, the chances are you're going to be able to make it less frizzy, right? Do you see the logic there? Now the challenge is if you have bad diffusing technique or if you haven't developed diffusing technique that controls frizz, then you might create frizz from your diffusing process. So there's a balance there. Now what is plopping was a big question I was getting there. Why am I out of breath? Like what's happening? Plopping is typically people use a t-shirt to plop their hair, but you can plop your hair in like one of these like t-shirt towels as well, or just like in a regular towel. But plopping is when you lower your hair like into a t-shirt or something like that, and you basically like wear it up like in a t-shirt or something like that, so that the t-shirt or the towel or whatever can it's a whole workout routine for sure, can absorb some of the moisture out of your hair and can start to dry and set your hair while it's like up against your hair so that your hair doesn't get weighed down by the weight of the water. That's what plopping is. So you've probably seen like t-shirt plopping. That might be familiar. My wavy hair won't hold its wave, but it's super wavy and some curls, but they flatten and it looks bad. Yeah, you have to use products to help with that. So like products that contain hold. Okay, so let's talk about what is good diffusing technique or what diffusing techniques are going to help with frizz. If you're somebody who says, I cannot diffuse my hair, it leaves my hair looking frizzy and stringy, it's probably because you're turning on your diffuser and you're going like that, okay? What I want you to try instead is turning on your diffuser and holding it about 8 to 10 centimeters away from your hair, so that it kind of mimics like a light breeze. I always picture walking on the like a deck of a cruise ship. If you've ever been to an all-inclusive and walked on the beach or the pool, by the pool, or gone on a cruise, I bet your hair was incredible. It was probably the curliest it's ever been. Between the humidity and the light breeze, it was just perfect conditions for super spirally hair, right? So that's what we're trying to mimic here. Between all of the humectants and moisture-loving ingredients that we have in our hair, which is kind of like that humidity, and hover diffusing, which is that heat, kind of like the humid environment, and a light breeze, we're hover diffusing. So instead of going in and disturbing that curl pattern and going like this and creating frizz and stringiness, we're just mimicking that light breeze. Okay? I'm missing a whole bunch of comments here, but anyways. So personally on my hair, I like to do this until really the cast starts to set on my hair. So what is a cast? When you're using any product that contains gold, like gel or mousse, it's going to leave a bit of a stiff or crunchy finish on your hair. It's okay, once your hair is 100% dry, you can scrunch that away and bring back the softness to your hair and the volume. However, the bonus to that is that stiffness and crunchiness is going to set before your hair is fully dry. So once that sets, then you're going to be able to touch your hair with the diffuser without creating any more frizz. So it's kind of a nice thing to have because it's a good way to control frizz during the drying process. Okay, so I'm going to start hover diffusing until I start to get that like stiffness and crunchiness, and then I'm going to go in and use a different technique that is going to enhance the curl a little bit more. But this hover diffusing is going to allow my spirals to set in a very natural way without being overly manipulated. And for me, this is going to give me the most natural and least messy looking curl pattern on my hair. Now, for some people, you are going to get better results if you go straight in with a pixie diffuse, which is where you go in and do that. Some people are going to get better results if they do that right away. Everybody's hair is a little bit different. But personally, on my hair pattern, I prefer the results if I hover diffuse first. It's going to give me the least amount of frizz and my preferred look of the actual curl pattern. So this is something that you can experiment with. So what temperature am I using? That's such a great question. I have the temperature on high and I have high airflow. Now, by the time this heat is actually touching my hair, it's not hot anymore. I could have my hand here all day and it's not going to burn my hands. So yes, it's on high heat, but there is no risk to my hair here. So if you're not able to be in an upright position with your hair tilted like this, that's okay. You can do this upright and maybe just use a couple of root clips to keep your roots up and lifted off of your scalp. That would be ideal to give you that lift at the root. You don't have to be flipping your hair side to side. Personally, I don't like to have a firm part in my hair, so that's why I keep flipping my hair side to side like this. So I find this, hover diffusing by far is like the best way for me to reduce the amount of frizz that I get from the diffusing process. And I think a lot of people, if you're struggling with diffusing, I always say start with hover diffusing. Bring this in as the first technique that you try out, and then introduce other diffusing techniques. But this is going to be that first one that you have an aha moment with. Yeah, so the products that I use today are the Curl Keeper Original Styler. And I added this to totally saturated hair. I added it in sections. Then I added the Brad Mondo Wave Tech Foam. Both of those I'm pretty sure are linked in my bio if you want to learn more about the products. And then I fully styled my hair with a Denman brush, which was the most time-consuming part. And then after I did that, I went in with the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle, which is a level 8 hold gel. I haven't used this product. I've never used these 3 products together, so I'm really curious to see what the results look like. Lust Brands is a brand that I work with, first of all, for full disclosure, but it's also one of my favorite wavy and curly hair brands. They also are great for kinky hair as well. And yes, I think they're great for beginners. The only people that I don't necessarily recommend Lust Brands for is for people with very fine hair, and people who know that they need a lot of protein. So if you have very color damaged hair, very bleach or color damaged hair, or very fine hair, then that's probably not the brand I would recommend to you right off the bat. Okay, so we've been hover diffusing, and you can already see that we're getting this really nice cast with almost no frizz. Like, I'm so happy with these results already. I was just like yelling. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start pixie diffusing, okay? So the pixie diffusing is going to start making my curls a little bit tighter. So some people like to do pixie diffusing starting a little bit sooner, especially if they're really trying to enhance their curl pattern. But for me, because I like to give my curl pattern a chance to like spiral the way it wants to, not look, I find that my curls get a little bit wonky if I start pixie diffusing too quickly. That's just with my hair. Everybody's hair is different. So I like to wait until those start to set and I start to get a cast. Like if you were to go like this, you would feel my hair is getting a little crunchy. So now I'm gonna go in with pixie diffusing. What is pixie diffusing? You lower your hair into the mouth of the diffuser. Then you turn it on. This is quite a hot diffuser, so typically I turn it down to a medium heat. And you can hold your position for like 20 to 30 seconds. Okay? And this is really going to tighten that curl pattern. It's going to enhance that curl pattern a little bit. But because I'm not moving the diffuser around a ton, it's not going to create unnecessary frizz. So Lust products, somebody was asking, is Lust gonna make my curls tighter? So Lust does not have a curl activator product. There are curl activator products out there, like Living Proof has one. Things that are going to make your curl tighter is by using products that contain hold and then diffusing your hair. When you diffuse your hair with hold product in it, that's going to make your curl pattern a little bit tighter. But their all-in-one is more like a moisture and a hold combined, and it's not a super strong hold. So their all-in-one is not going to make your curl pattern tighter, I wouldn't say. And it's not a curl activator. Curl activator products are more going to make your curl pattern a little bit tighter. Oh, thank you for whoever was complimenting my home. I have never used the Matrix curl line, no. So again, you can see I turn my diffuser off every time I move my diffuser when I'm pixie diffusing. I like to turn it off to create minimal amounts of frizz every time I move it. And I've got it down to a medium heat here because this is quite a hot diffuser. This is the Lust Brands diffuser, by the way. If you want 10% off the Lust Brands diffuser, you can use the code GHWH10, which is, if you go to the link in my bio and click the diffuser link, you'll see the discount code. One sec, there's a question. The hair on my neck is super curly, but the layer on the top of my head is straight. What can I do? So that is very similar to my hair pattern. The first thing I always say is go get your hair cut by a stylist who knows how to cut wavy or curly hair, because a really good haircut that caters to the diversity in hair pattern that you have on your head is going to make a really big difference in how easy it is to style the diversity in curl pattern. That's just the reality, okay? So This is a really stronghold gel. Then the other thing I would say is doing things like brush curls on the top layer of your head and diffusing your hair will really help. Okay. I don't know. I maybe should have done brush curls. I might end up restyling the top of my head. We'll see. So I only wash my hair about 1.5 times a week. And this lasts about 4 to 5 days for me, if I style my hair properly. If I have a good wash day, it'll last me 4 to 5 days. You did the viral butterfly cut and now your hair is super curly. Oh, that's awesome. It's amazing what a good haircut can do. Does refreshing involve getting your hair completely wet every day? No, not necessarily. And I don't recommend getting your hair completely wet every single day. In my mind, refreshing your wavy or curly hair is like a blanket term that refers to freshening up your wavy or curly hair or kinky or coily hair, just so that you're presentable leaving the house, so to speak. You know what I mean? Refreshing your wavy, curly, kinky, or coily hair is the equivalent of if you have straight hair and just like quickly passing a straightener over a few sections that got curly while you were sleeping, when you used to straighten your hair. So you're not fully re-straightening your hair, you're just touching things up, okay? So when you're refreshing your wavy or curly hair, the idea is you don't want to have to fully resaturate your hair because, as we know, diffusing is typically what takes the longest, right? So if you have to fully diffuse your hair again, it's going to take forever. If you want to learn more about diffusing, I just posted a video about this, about tips for how to just fix the problem or the pain point that you're having in the morning for refreshing your hair. It's my most recent YouTube video, so you can go check it out. It's under the video section, not the YouTube shorts. Oh, you just ordered that was a little premature. I've never used this product combination today, so if you just ordered all my products today, I've never used this product combination today. So do I prefer the Lust Dryer or the Conair one linked in my bio? I prefer the Lust one. The Conair one is much cheaper. So the only reason I have both linked is because I know this one is not in everyone's budget. And I do think that it is possible to use a cheaper one and still get good results. But I prefer this one, and this one will cut down on your drying time quite a bit. But the Conair one I think is like less than $50, right? How many times do you wash your hair in a week? About 1.5. I waited until now after you started blow drying your hair. Okay, perfect, Marcia. Okay, I'm glad. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So if anybody is just joining, the products that we use so far in my hair today are the Curl Keeper Original Styler. I love this product. I have used this product a lot, and so far I've mixed it with a lot of different products, and I've always really, really liked it. The Brad Mondo Wave Tech Foam. Again, I've never mixed it with the Curl Keeper before, but I have used it a lot in my refreshes. I really like using this for refreshes. I think it can save a lot of bad hair days. And then the Curlsmith Curl Defined Styling Souffle. I have not used this gel very much. It's doing a pretty good job so far though. My hair looks good wet, but when I diffuse, they get hair flat, dry, crunchy. They are color damaged. So that means you need to do deep treatments. If your hair is damaged, I would do bond treatments, I would do deep conditioners, things like that. Hair that is unhealthy is going to be incredibly difficult to style, for sure. Shawani, what are you asking me there? Oh, sorry, 1.5 as in I wash my hair every 4 to 5 days. 4 to 5 days. Sorry, that wasn't clear. You make a video on your refreshes, or do you have one already? Yeah, there's one on YouTube that you can go check out. I also have a playlist on TikTok called Refreshing. I think it's called Refreshing Wavy Hair or Refreshing Curly Hair, something like that. That I talk a lot about some different refreshing tips. But I have a 5-minute YouTube video that talks about refreshing hair. I pretty much never co-wash my hair with conditioner. The reason being is my hair doesn't really it doesn't need moisture. So there's this like perception that all wavy and curly hair needs more, like so much moisture. Like it needs moisture, it needs moisture. Typically curly hair is very, very thirsty. But a lot of people with wavy hair actually have like greasy wavy hair. Like their hair isn't naturally quite as dry as some people with curly hair is. So that's one of the reasons that it can be helpful to understand some of the differences between wavy and curly hair. But anyhow, but also some of that can come down to there can be people with curly hair who have naturally oily and not dry hair. So anyways, my hair is not naturally super dry. Part of that is because it's very, very healthy, okay? So just so you know, guys, my hair is already getting very dry. You can't really tell because I've got this great gel cast. But what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start scrunching that out just with my hands. I'm not even gonna use a hair oil. I'm just gonna start scrunching that out, and I'm gonna keep diffusing my hair, because as I scrunch this out, it's going to expose some of the centers of this that are still a little damp. And if you scrunch out a cast while it's still wet, on my hair at least, and just leave it, it's gonna leave the hair very frizzy. Okay, so what was oh yeah, do I ever co-wash? Yeah, so my hair, co-washing is really great for people whose hair gets dried out very, very easily. But my hair does not get dried out very easily, and I only wash my hair every 4 to 5 days. So what would be the point in me co-washing if I'm only going in every 4 to 5 days anyways? Like by the 4 to 5 day mark, my scalp is getting very itchy. Like I need to shampoo my hair at that point. Does that make sense? Co-washing is not for everybody. But everybody's hair is a little bit different. Some people, co-washing is an important part of their hair routine. If you're somebody who exclusively co-washes your hair and it's working for you, then great. But if you exclusively co-wash your hair and you're having scalp issues, or your things that used to work for you are no longer working for you, I would caution you to try reintroducing shampoo. Shampoo is not the devil, and it can be an important part to maintaining healthy hair. Have you ever used rosemary oil? I do not use rosemary oil, no, but I do use the Healthy Scalp Serum by Les Brands because I get itchy, flaky scalp. So did you see I'm going to be a lot less precious about my hair. I'm not worried about creating frizz anymore. My hair is pretty much fully dry. At this point, I'm actually trying to create volume. So what did I put in it for the people who just got here? I added Curl Keeper, the original styler, and then I added Brad Mondo foam, and then I added Curl Smith Curl Defining Souffle. Are the 3 products? 1 second. I just re-wet one section, so I'm just letting that get fully dry, and then we're going to do a reveal. Oh my god, my lower back is sore. I've been doing so much shoveling. So this was the Curl Keeper, the original styler. So how much time usually it takes to have healthy curly hair if your hair is heat damaged? Yeah, that's a good question. So in reality, if your hair is already really badly heat damaged, I would recommend doing like a bond treatment, something like Olaplex or K18. That's gonna make a really big difference in repairing or at least preventing any further damage. And make sure that you're using heat protectant moving forward if you're gonna be using any heat on your hair. Oh, my lower back. However, when it comes to the heat damage that's already there, I mean, part of it's going to be growing out that heat damage. A lot of people swear by bond treatments and say that it can make a big difference and bring that curl pattern back to their hair. I didn't do any bond treatments when I was growing out the heat damage. So like, if you want to compare these results, so this is what my hair looks like now. That's what my hair used to look like when it was heat damage. So now, then, you can see a pretty dramatic difference, right? So this was my heat damage. Look how straight my ends were. Then now I had to grow this out. Ultimately, you can see the new part was coming in a lot more like what I have now. This is like the healthy new growth. I just had to let it grow out. That's not what people want to hear, I know, but that's why you hear about people getting the big chop. I didn't do a big chop. Also, the big chop is typically a term that we reserve for people in the kinky coily community, but okay. Okay, so let's see. Now, this is always a little bit scary. How many months, years? So most people's hair grows about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch a month, to give you an idea. My hair probably grows 1 inch a month, or 3/4 of an inch a month, because my hair grows quite quickly. What shampoos do you recommend? I use the Less Brands shampoo and conditioner, and then I use the Bounce Curl Gentle Clarifying Shampoo probably once a month. Okay, so I didn't even use a hair oil. I just used my hands to scrunch away the cast there. Lately, that's what I've been doing because my hair gets weighed down very, very easily. And you can see that got rid of all of the cast for me, but I also was using the diffuser to break that cast. So let's see. This is always a moment of reveal because it can look fantastic like this, but then you get upright and sometimes it looks wonky. If it does look wonky, I'll show you how I fix that. Oh, my lower back. Okay. I've been doing so much shoveling. Okay. Oh my God. I went to the back. I've been doing like 20-minute back stretches every time I go to the gym lately because just the shoveling is killing me. I live on like a really big country property. One second, I'll show you. I don't know if you can tell, but like there's a lot happening here. A lot of deep snow. Okay. Okay. So let's see how this is looking. What are you doing? It's kind of dark, eh? Why is the light so dark? So I'm just kind of letting it fall where it wants to. So this is that gravity fed curls technique that really like makes it, gives me that first, you can see that when it has that first spiral like that, that's from the gravity fed technique. And see how it spirals away from my face there and there. That is because I over directed it with those brush curls. If you were there, I don't know, 45 minutes ago when I was doing that. Oh my God, who's being naughty in the comment section? Some of the comments just got filtered out. Which haircut do I recommend for curly hair? I recommend going to somebody at least maybe once a year who knows how to cut wavy or curly hair. That's the reality. There isn't like one haircut that suits there's so many haircuts that can look great on wavy and curly hair. There's not just one. There's so many good ones. And a lot of it's gonna come down to your face shape, to your hair pattern, to the diversity of hair pattern that you have on your head. So the reality is you're better to go to somebody who knows how to cut hair like that. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay, so here's what I like and what I don't like. I really like the definition that I'm getting here. I like the volume that I'm getting at the root, considering that I haven't had my hair cut in like 9 months, so I don't have a lot of shape. I really like the feel. It feels very, very soft. And I do feel like I have a good amount of root volume. I like the amount of frizz I have. I don't think it's overly frizzy, considering I'm living in Canadian winter right now, which usually leaves my hair quite frizzy. I actually think the bang area turned out pretty good. I could probably touch it up a little bit, but I might just deal with it during the refresh. I'm not loving some of this. Wait, where was it? See what I mean? Some of this. Now, this is the result of me really focusing on the gravity-fed curl technique, where I really only focus on the first bend at the root and I really let the ends do whatever they want. If I had done brush curls on these top sections, these would all be perfect spirals, all going in the same direction, and I wouldn't be dealing with these like kind of wonky pieces right here. But I think it's fine. I'm not gonna overly fret about it. I think it looks good overall. Let me just go somewhere where we have slightly better lighting. I think that's a little bit better for you guys, eh? There, you can see a little bit better. So the product from Les that I use for itchy scalp is called the Healthy Scalp Serum. You just started watching. Have you tried Brad Mondo Wave Tech? It's in my hair right now. Yes. So I'm wondering if I'm going to, Matt, you're in the live right now, just FYI. Here, I'll angle it away. Okay. So anyways, if you were wanting to like fix this a little bit, if you wanted to fix these pieces, instead of fully saturating my whole head, what I would do would be to just take the pieces that have these like kind of wonky bits, I would just wet those and I would brush curl them. And then you could either let it air dry for a bit or just re-diffuse the whole thing, or just re-diffuse that section. So you do have that option if that's really bugging you. However, I think what I'm gonna do, because it is Ontario, Canada, and it's super, super dry out right now, even in these sections that look like a little bit like they have a lot of product, the environment is gonna suck a lot of moisture out of my hair over the next 24 hours. So I'm just gonna leave them and let them settle. And I'll probably, because I'm gonna be working in I'm gonna be volunteering in a salon tomorrow, or shadowing in a salon tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a refresh anyways. So I'm just gonna let my hair kind of be as is. I think it actually looks pretty cute today. Like, I'm not unhappy with this. And I'm gonna kind of focus on nitpicking tomorrow morning when I'm doing my refresh. Does that make sense? Thanks, Mom. Whenever I do add products to my hair after I shower, once it dries, it's so oily. So it could be that you're using products that are too heavy for your hair. So I would try using slightly lighter products. No, this is quite a light product, I would say. Most foams are usually on the lighter side. I know it's not cheap though, so it's always like nerve-wracking. Little plug for if you're in the States, there's a company called Curls Monthly by Curl Vitality that sends you every month a whole bunch of like travel size or sample sizes of new curl products that you can try. And I think it's like $17 US per month. And the idea is to reduce waste, because when you're just getting to know new products, how many of us buy full-size products of something only to find out that it doesn't work for us? So the idea behind this is it's a subscription box that allows you to try sample sizes of new products to find out whether or not you like a product before you buy the full size. So that's called Curls Monthly, and it is coming to Canada in 2023. I still need to make a video because they did send me one of their packages just to try out, to test out the Canadian shipping. So they are coming to Canada soon. How do you know when to use a curl cream? So curl creams, there are a lot of different types of curl creams. There are curl creams that are, they say right on the label, lightweight curl cream, okay? There are curl creams that are more like curl soufflés or curl butters that are very heavy. There are curl creams that are curl defining creams that are almost like a gel. There are curl creams that are all-in-ones that are meant to be used on their own. So when you say curl cream, it's tough because curl cream is almost something that was invented by marketing companies to target anyone who has hair that is not straight, to make us think that the product is for us, okay? The term curl cream is so broad. It really is hard to even know what that product does. That's the first thing that I would say. A lot of curl creams are heavier products that are almost like the consistency of like a heavy moisturizer or face cream. And if that's the type of product that you're talking about and it doesn't say like defining on the label or anything like that, my eyes on TikTok look so like gray blue right now. So if you're talking about like just a curl cream that's not a defining curl cream, it's just a moisturizing product, then that type of product is just meant to add kind of a more heavyweight moisture to your hair. And it's really meant for people whose hair is not gonna get weighed down easily and who is craving moisture. And I was talking about this a little bit earlier. Not everybody with hair like mine, for example, that is weighed down easily, that is more like has sections that are more like S waves like this. Not everybody with hair like that has super dry hair that desperately needs heavy moisturizing products, right? So you might be better off using a light leave-in conditioner or just some other sort of product instead of a curl cream. The curl cream might actually leave your hair looking greasy, weighed down, heavy, something like that. And you might be better skipping it altogether, okay? Someone with spirals that start at the root, that don't have a tendency to loosen or fall out, and that have a tendency to be dry or lose moisture, those are people that a curl cream can be fantastic for. The other thing is some products say right on them, light curl cream or curl activating cream. And those products are more meant for people who need lighter weight products, or a curl activating cream can be great for someone who's trying to activate curl in their hair. And then curl defining creams often add definition, right? So they can act a little bit more like a gel. So that curl cream is like a tough subject matter. Is gel good for wavy hair? Yes. Almost everybody with wavy hair ends up using gel. It just gives you the longest lasting results. Okay, well, I hope that's been helpful. Thanks so much for joining today, guys. This has been a lot of fun. I go live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. This has been really fun to do like a different combination of products. What to do in order to have long curly hair? One second, I think you asked another question that I missed there, Shawani. Oh, sorry, you asked 3 times. I'm so sorry. What to do in order to have long curly hair? My hair is still shoulder length and it's difficult to see any difference in my length. So, I mean, there's some things that you can do, like taking certain supplements, they say helps. Like I take a multivitamin that has biotin. It's like a prenatal thing. I'm not pregnant, but I take it because it's good for my nails. And because it's good for my nails, in my head, I think it's probably good for my hair too, although I don't know the science behind it. Apart from that, I have heard things about like rosemary oil and stuff, but I'm not educated on that, so I don't actually want to speak to that. I know Lust Brands makes claims that their healthy scalp serum helps with growth. I have no experience around that because I haven't struggled with hair growth or with hair loss, so I can't actually speak to that at all, but I know their scalp serum says on it that it is a growth activator if you apply it like every night. So yeah, like things like that. I would say the other big thing if you're growing your hair out is, I would say, if you have, like, speak to your hairstylist, because if you have hair that is very like fine or brittle or is breaking constantly, then you can grow it out, but if it keeps breaking, then it's not making any progress. So talk to your hairstylist. One of the hairstylists that I've been speaking with, she was saying how some people just really aren't meant to have long hair. Maybe they have very fine hair that's very brittle. So yes, they can use every like protein treatment, bond treatment in the books, but ultimately if they want their hair to be healthy, they need to be getting regular trims, and they are better off to just keep it nice and short so that it can be nice and healthy, and then it will look more full, and their hair is just always gonna struggle to grow and have length. So I mean, I would talk to your stylist about it and really get an assessment for your hair about what they think is possible for your hair. I'm really not the best person to talk to about that sort of thing, because ultimately, obviously hasn't been a real issue for me. I haven't had my hair cut in 8 months and it's still like relatively healthy. Although I will say I need to get like that much cut off because all that is like pretty dead. But yeah, rice water technique, what that actually is a protein treatment for your hair. That's depositing protein onto your hair. You're probably better off to like get a protein treatment, but that's what it is. It's protein, so technically it should strengthen your hair. I'm glad that was helpful about curl creams. And other than that, guys, I'm going to see you next Tuesday. I do go live every single Tuesday and I do a full hair routine, typically always going to be with different hair products. So that means sometimes my hair turns out, sometimes it doesn't. I try to keep it super real with you guys. So when it doesn't work out, what you're going to do is see how I fix it. I try to stay live until I'm happy with the results that I end up getting. So if that means I have to like go back in and re-wet some sections, that's what I do. Because I just think that's real world. And sometimes you guys aren't happy with how your hair turns out, and it's helpful for you to see how I go in and fix those results. So anyways, that's it. Thanks so much for joining this week, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.